trophied up. Yeah. Hey, do your trophied up. Do your dance when the G's up. Spaced out, got me geeked up. 10 toes on the west, can I beat us? You cannot. Shining every time they meet us. Rack 'em up, since 96. Been number one in LA, something slight, that's the gist.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Talkin Galaxy, episode 10. We've made it, everybody. And today I will be joined by Galaxy Runs LA. Galaxy Runs LA, and I will be doing a duo pod tonight. And thank you guys for tuning in. Let's get right into things with the Galaxy playing an MLS match against Orlando City SC at the weekend. And all the graphics, by the way, are by Galaxy Runs LA and myself. But Galaxy fall 2-1 at home to Orlando, our third consecutive home loss this year. You know, we went from being unbeaten at home to 3 in a row is not a great look for the Galaxy. But thoughts on this? Thoughts on losing our third straight home game against Orlando?
It's really unfortunate. I mean, we were so good for that first 70 minutes, and then just to concede that penalty call, which we'll talk about later, but that just isn't a penalty. And then going on to that J-Mac mistake, it's heartbreaking because we really deserve the 3 points. We're the better team by far. For that first 70, 75 minutes, we were actually looking good. I was like, wow, we might be back. I was getting my memes ready for the final score. And I look up and I'm like, what's going on? It's a penalty kick. I'm like, oh my. So all of us had to go to the trash and had to make some sad memes.
Yeah. It was really disappointing because, like you said, I felt the Galaxy played some of their best soccer this season in the first 70-ish minutes of this game. I mean, people could pretend and act like it would have been way different if we would have, not conceded. If we didn't concede the penalty, the Galaxy win this game. Let's not be mistaken. I don't think we draw. That John McCarthy mistake stems from the fact that the penalty no call. Let's just go into it. I don't think you can talk about this match without looking at the penalty no call here. This was not called. By the way, before we go any further, this was the same referee that had the call for Denny Bouanga around this time last year. Same exact referee. You know, everyone looking at this match got a little nervous when you see that. And yeah, let's discuss this right here. But we'll let the video play first. It's gonna reverse here.
Shocking.
Right. So the more you look at that, I don't see one angle where that looks close to a penalty. Not even being biased. And look, I've already had Portland fans in my comments being like, oh, karma finds its way around or whatever. Go have your victory lap or whatever. But this is twice now by the same referee that we've been robbed. This time of 3 points, and last season, once again, at least of a draw. And these are just huge momentum changing things for the Galaxy that really disrupt your flow of the game. Have you seen any angle where this looks like a penalty to you?
Oh, I mean, somebody needs to check John Freeman's bank account and see if he got any influx of money, because that's crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
So is it Ojeda? No, it's Atuesta, former LAFC player, is dribbling down the line. He steps kind of in between Yamane's legs and falls down. I didn't see any contact there. I don't know what Freeman saw, and it went to VAR and they cleared it as well. So I don't know what they saw. I didn't see the angle that they saw because I saw no contact.
Look, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I feel like it's always the LAFC and former LAFC players who end up diving. No matter where they go, it follows them. I think maybe there needs to be an investigation done into some LAFC, diving practice. Maybe they go to the pool every once in a while for team training and they just, decide to flop like a fish. But Atuesta, former LAFC player, of course it had to be him to draw the penalty. John McCarthy really didn't stand a chance on it. Obviously, we know he's a penalty specialist. That's what he made, his career off of before he came to the Galaxies, being a penalty specialist. Not much you can do on that. It was a good penalty. But that is not a penalty kick. So that's just very clear. But we do have some positive news from this match, and that would be Joseph Paintsil making his return. Thoughts on JP returning?
I mean, he's pretty quiet in this game, but I mean, we'll talk about Tigres later. I thought he was pretty electric in that first 45 where he played, so I'm really happy. He gives the team just a different dynamic that we kind of been missing without him, because it's been kind of a one-sided play. We'd have Peck on one side and then Fagundes on the other, and Fagundes just isn't the player Paintsel is. Like he doesn't have that threat in behind. So I mean, it's really helpful. He's a great player, absolutely speed monster, speed demon, anything you want to call him. And we saw it against Tigres. We'll talk about it later. I mean, him at the 9 with Peck on the right. I mean, they're just causing Tigres problems, but obviously we'll talk about that later. But in this Orlando game,
Yeah.
I mean, nothing really to really talk about. He didn't really have any great chances or anything, but I mean, it's his first. He played like 25 minutes, 30 minutes,
Yeah, about.
first 30 minutes back. So I mean, you can't really ask for much as long as he's getting playing time.
Yeah. I mean, I think this match, like we discussed earlier, was to set up the Tigres match more so. Obviously, if he would have knocked in a goal, that would have been great. But I don't think you really expected him to be a game changer immediately for the Galaxy in this match. Um, I think, getting him minutes was more important than anything in building fitness so he could get the start that he got. That, once again, we'll discuss later. But honestly, I thought this match was just really disappointing. Obviously, we can't go further. Christian Ramirez, 4 goals in 4 games, and until the Tigres match. But 4 goals in 4 games for Christian Ramirez. He's on fire right now for the Galaxy. He cannot stop scoring. Like our team can't win, but he can't stop scoring. So, I really like Christian Ramirez's performance. He had a clean finish in this match. Leading Golden Boot for the Galaxy, 4 goals on the campaign. Do you think Christian Ramirez could be up there in the Golden Boot conversation in MLS, or do you think that's a stretch?
I think that might be a stretch just considering, I mean, our offense hasn't really been clicking, but I guess you never know with Paintsel coming back, so there's that possibility. I just want
Yeah.
to talk about his goal real quick. I mean, when I posted it, I got people in the comments saying that it reminded that long ball, that switching long ball reminded them of a Ricky pass to Yamane, Yamane centering it to Jovic, and I was like, dang, that actually is pretty similar. So I was like, that's a good comparison. I mean, that's almost like prime LA Galaxy right back at you. So it's good to see him get another goal, and then obviously went on to lose the game. But I think there's a lot of positives in this game we can take away.
It's the Mickey Amana effect. Like once he comes back at right back, love Harbor Miller. I thought he was great for the Galaxy in his time. Much more to come from him. But Mickey Amane is just that guy. He's the best right back in MLS, and he elevates your offense even from a right back position. That's something the Galaxy definitely missed. And his interplay with Christian Ramirez is already there. The chemistry is already there. So I'm super excited to see how that develops over the course of the year for the Galaxy. Ramirez gets on the score sheet. Let's talk about the John McCarthy mistake. I think there was a lot of discussion after the match. We'll go into a quote from Greg Vanney towards the end, but John McCarthy has an absolute blunder. So the penalty was scored by Ojeda in the 76th minute. And then in the 90th minute, going into stoppage time of this match, it looked like the Galaxy were going to get a point, which would have, sucked anyway because we deserved a win out of this match. And with the penalty call and everything, it would have been disappointing, but it's a point. The Galaxy don't get anything here. John McCarthy makes an absolute mess of it. I mean, it looked like a shot. It wasn't a great shot by Orlando. It was Luis Mariel, and he looks like, he should have just parried it, if anything, if we're being
Yeah,
honest.
Muriel was, I think it was like 35 yards out. He just straight knuckled the ball. It wasn't that much knuckle. He just kind of hit it straight down the middle and then goes through his hands and kind of pushes into the top corner.
Yeah. Just another mistake in back-to-back matches for John McCarthy. We'll go into a goalkeeper conversation a bit later here, but if we're going to be fair to both goalkeepers, you gotta criticize John McCarthy. I don't think much needs to be said on that. I've heard a lot of criticism of him too, but the same people who were so loud to say that Novak Mitrovic was the problem, you got to keep the same energy when it comes to John McCarthy and him making mistakes. And also, I think, it was completely right to distribute to the blame to John McCarthy for that one, because it absolutely was. But goalkeeper's always the scapegoat of some issues. I played goalkeeper, not at an MLS level, obviously, but they always become the scapegoat of an issue that stems from the back line. And once again, you see that here with John McCarthy and Novak Mitrovic. Just wanted to say, Aisha in the chat, we want to shout out Sean. Here. Please give our boy a chance. And and yeah, no, it did not look like a pen from ACB to me, honestly. I think there's much like I don't know. I was in ACB, not a pen. Were you at this match?
I wasn't. I mean, my schedule's kind of tough with my collegiate schedule, collegiate soccer, so couldn't make it out. I'm trying to make it out to one of the weekend games coming up though.
Yeah, but from where I was, it didn't look like a pen to me either. And I agree. I think Ramirez at striker was working, so certainly something that Greg Van and the coaching staff, I'm sure, looked at and were not too happy about.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Obviously talking about the 9, what are your thoughts on Nascimento in his first couple games off the bench?
I think he's been okay. I mean, here's the issue is that he's a lone player. I don't think he has much time, honestly. You have until the end of the season, and if he doesn't break in, if he doesn't start scoring goals, he's not going to get bought. He's going to go back to Botafogo after the end of the season. He hasn't looked spectacular. That being said, he hasn't got a lot of minutes. I haven't seen much from him. We'll talk about the Tigres match. He got a bulk of his minutes. He got 45, which was the most we've seen of Nascimento all year for the Galaxy. I thought he looked a bit more comfortable and aggressive on the ball that game, which impressed me. This game, I didn't think he was anything noteworthy. I didn't even really notice him, but
Yeah.
I knew that against Tigres, he started to look more comfortable. That being said, if you're a striker, you got to get on the score sheet. And he's not doing that right now for the Galaxy. And more so, Christian Ramirez, that's his spot. And I don't think, besides rotational minutes, I think the real test is going to be to see Nascimento in a rotational game where the Galaxy, Christian Ramirez is tired on legs. You've seen Miguel Berry get starts. I think Nascimento going forward is going to take the rotational starts that Miguel Berry got. And I'm excited to see what he has. But, I think he's still adjusting. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, in this game, Orlando, I couldn't tell you one touch he had. And then in the Tigres game, I'll talk about that game later because we'll cover that in probably a few minutes. But in this Orlando game, he was non-existent. I mean, at your 9, he kind of not all 9s touch the ball a lot. I mean, with the Galaxy, you kind of play on the width with Peck, and you don't really get a ton of touches in the middle. But I mean, when you have Ramirez, you kind of have that. He has an aura that like, oh, if this ball gets to him, he's gonna get a chance. With Nascimento, I just don't feel that. I mean, it could be kind of early. I mean, he's still adapting to the LA lifestyle, but I mean, I'm not impressed so far. Not gonna lie.
Do you know what I also noticed? I don't feel like he's advanced enough in his positioning. I think Greg Vanney kind of touched on that after the Tigres game, where he was kind of a bit critical on Nascimento's positioning because I don't think he's well adapted. I think the coaching staff has to work with him because when he's receiving the ball, I feel like he's way more deep than you'd expect a striker to be. Christian Ramirez, it took him a bit of time to get things figured out. Let's not forget that we are less than 10 games into the year, so I think players will adjust and adapt to things, but Nascimento, I think, receives the ball way too deep. And you saw that with Ricky Puig. Different positions, sure, but you saw that with Ricky Puig too. It's Greg Vanney's system where sometimes you need players to be more advanced up the field because the Galaxy are best when they're able to recover the ball in high up positions and they're able to play our, fluid soccer. I also noticed a lot of criticisms of Greg Vanney after this game and a lot of people calling his coaching into account. I don't agree with that, honestly. I think this is still an MLS Cup winning head coach, regardless of the Galaxy being winless in MLS. you got to know that we face so much injury issues that this team is just getting started. This team's like just getting started, and they're carrying a lot of minutes. Edwin Cerrillo has played almost every minute, I believe, as Diego Fagundes has played almost every 90 minutes too. I mean, he came out with like, just in stoppage time with Tigres, but there's a lot of minutes on these legs right now. And if you're going to balance Concacaf, you kind of have to realize that the start of the year is probably going to be rocky. That being said, our home is no longer a fortress, which is very disappointing to see. But
Yeah, but
um,
that's 3 L's on the bounce right now at the digs. That's not good.
no.
I mean, we'll preview obviously the next game. It's RSL away, so we got kind of a little road trip coming up. We gotta go to Salt Lake and Utah, and then down to Mexico and Monterrey. So I
Yeah,
mean, we've already been traveling a bunch, and that's just even more. So,
we're
you're
getting
talking
the road
about
miles
Nas.
in.
I know, yeah, get those flight miles. You're
Yes.
talking about Nascimento, which kind of getting rotation minutes. Maybe this weekend is a chance for him to get some minutes because we got to travel down to Mexico on Tuesday to play Tigres in the second leg. So maybe Nascimento gets a start. We'll see.
I agree. I think Christian Ramirez cannot be starting the match on Saturday and then the second leg at Tigres, as well as this game. Obviously, it's too much on his legs. Give Nascimento a shot. Let him take a bulk of the minutes. He came into here looking for more minutes. That's the reason why he came to the Galaxy. He came out Botafogo because he wasn't performing up to expectations. He was decent at first, but he really fell off of the depth chart for Botafogo, and he wanted more minutes. He comes here, and this is your chance. I believe we'll go over the RSL game, but on a road trip, I think Nascimento is a good shout to maybe have a goal in this game. Get his breakthrough for the Galaxy, and he should want it very bad because if you want to stay with the Galaxy, you need goals. You need goals. You're not gonna get that purchase option triggered. You're not gonna convince Mr. Phil Anschutz to pull the trigger on your buy-on option if you are not scoring goals for the Galaxy at the striker spot. Christian Ramirez has been a very good value signing for the Galaxy. I can't say the same about Nascimento right now. Once again, he's on loan. I honestly like that he's on loan though. It's like a trial run, because at the end of the day, if he's not performing, bin him. Next year, just get a new striker, bin him, and get a new U22 player, and we'll start it over again. But I think that's something we talked about when Dejan Jovic left, was the fact that the next striker was going to be a lot more raw. The next striker was not going to come in and be a guy who is very polished and ready to score. He didn't score much with Botafogo. Even in the minutes he got, even in the bulk of minutes, he didn't score. He needs that finishing touch, and it's something you develop. That clinicalness, that fire that Dejan Jovic had, he didn't start with the Galaxy. He came off the bench and had good performances, but when he started matches at the beginning of his Galaxy tenure, he wasn't good. He was not good. I think Nascimento is just a player that, he needs time to develop, but he doesn't have much of it. So we'll see. We'll see how he does over the course of the year. But let's go into the Galaxy versus Tigres here. The Galaxy, you know what? Play it one more time. This was outrageous. This is outrageous to me. I cannot stand that was called a penalty. John Freeman, are an absolute criminal for
Bruh.
this. You're an absolute criminal. Anyway, Galaxy draw 0-0 to Tigres at home. This is the first leg of two. Oopsies. This is the first leg of two. And as you see here, Diego Lainez getting absolutely leveled by Gabriel Peck. Show him levels. By the way, come on. I had to throw that in here. I had to throw that in here. Matt Miazga and Diego Lainez, and then Greg Penny and Diego Lainez. Just a bit of banter from our coach there. That is my coach, by the way. You cannot tell me that this man needs to be sacked. Galaxy draw 0-0 to Tigres. First leg, what do you make of this game?
I mean, the only highlight to that was Greg Vanny talking with that sideline referee after that incident with Linus. He's holding that ball up, and it was our throw. And I remember I saw us live. I'm like, it is. I started laughing. It was so
Yeah.
funny. Line
What,
is coming to the ball. It's our throw. And
what
Vanny's
did he
holding the
say?
ball over his head. And he's like, "It's our ball, ref." And
Yeah.
I forget the exact words, but I mean, yeah, it's out there somewhere. So highly recommend watching that. Maybe I'll post it later. But yeah, I mean, not much going for this game. Not a lot of highlights. I mean, it was it was a chess match, honestly.
Yeah.
Tiga's trying to pull players out to break the lines and stuff, and Galaxy was kind of sitting back and then hitting on the count with Peck and Paintsel. So I mean, it's a tight match. It's gonna be a tough one in Mexico. So I'm looking forward to that.
I think that, by the way, Olivier Giroud has more minutes in our chat than he does on the field for LAFC this season. But I think it's very difficult to go up to Mexico and win when you've only won one game, and that was at home to a Costa Rica team. There's pros and cons to this, though. Let's not act like it's all negative because you kept them off the score sheet. Very important because, I was talking about how bad it is, but I love the away goal rule here. If we advance on away goals, it's my favorite rule. Keep it in the tournament for as long as you need because I believe that the Galaxy did well at keeping them off the score sheet here, but I think not getting a win is very difficult. Not getting a win at home is not what you want to see from the Galaxy here because if you would have got like a 1-0 victory, you'd be looking a lot better. You'd be looking a lot better, but you don't have the win. So now you got to, I will say, you can also get a draw in Mexico if you score. So there's like a 2/3 chance of the there's every 2 out of 3 scenarios had the Galaxy winning here because any draw would either send us to penalties or send us to penalties or automatically win it outright for the Galaxy. If we score a goal and we draw outright, anything we advance. We cannot lose. We cannot afford a loss. That's so difficult, though. That's so difficult. But going back to this game, it was a very scrappy match, I thought. I've seen some takes that was boring. I thought there were moments that this match peaked in, 0-0, not what you like to see from just a fan perspective of watching good soccer. It wasn't, brilliant from either team. I thought Tigres had the better of the chances, though. So I think the Galaxy are a bit fortunate to come out with the draw from this match because I'll give them credit. They came into LA and they dominated, the half chances. No real major chances besides I've seen a lot of people say that McCarthy was amazing this match. I thought he was fine. He made a really good save. I believe somewhere in the 70th or 80th minute. He made a pretty good save on like a one-on-one opportunity from an angle. Guarded his near post very well, which you like to see from him. But I think this puts you in a tough spot. I wanted to see the Galaxy come out a bit more aggressive, though. Didn't you want to see a bit more from the Galaxy in terms of aggression this game?
Yeah,
I mean, okay, but I don't know why Julian Ade didn't start. That was my question.
I think from Vane's perspective, you got was it Linus on the right side? I mean, they're gonna be attacking, and nowadays just isn't as sound as Nelson on defense. I feel like so. I think that was Vane's kind of mindset of playing Nelson. And then just from my take on the game, I mean, I can only really think of two clear-cut chances in the whole game that both teams had. Obviously, McCarthy came up with that great save. I think it was we gave it away at the back or something, and I centered it to I think Ibanez, and Ibanez just shot it, and McCarthy made a great save, keeping it out, kind of caught between his legs, I think. And then the other one is like, it was at the very start. I thought we had a great start, and there's a breakaway, and then was it Yamane? I think he crossed it, and it just missed Ramirez's on the back
Oh yeah,
post.
yeah.
It was pretty early on. I forget who crossed it, but I mean that was a
It
great
was
play.
Yamane.
It's mine. I think it was Peck to Yamane. Yamane crosses it and just didn't quite get to Ramirez. I mean I think that was our play of the game. Unfortunate not to score. I mean I can't really think of another chance that we kind of had to like
That was so
score.
close from ACB, by the way. From my
Yeah,
perspective, like I don't know how close it looked on the broadcast, but I was in ACB as I always am. But like that looked just inches away from Ramirez making enough contact to probably bury that in the back of the net. That was definitely our best chance. But once again, we didn't create anything that you would have wanted to see. Something that was interesting, by the way, Joseph Paintsel gets his first start of the season in this match. We talked about it before. that match against Orlando was to build Joseph Paintsil up to start this game. He only played 45 minutes, but they wanted to see Joseph Paintsil get at least a half in this game, and that's what you saw. That's why he played Orlando. He played Orlando so that he was able to make a contribution in this game. Probably early on was the expectation, but nothing came of it because the teams were still getting very acclimated to each other. The second half was a lot more lively. First half was such a snooze fest. But one thing that I thought was interesting is the interplay on Joseph Paintsil and Gabriel Peck along that right wing. I would have thought that Joseph Paintsil would have played a lot more of like a straightforward left wing, right wing Gabriel Peck. You saw them interchange a lot last year, but they played at the same wing sometimes. I saw they both played outright, at least the first half. When
Yeah,
Joseph Paintsil was playing, that was interesting to see. What do you make of
I
that?
got a. So I was watching the presser after the game of Vanny, and so the Galaxy came out in a 4-4-2, four defense, four midfield, two forwards. At first I was so confused because it was like one of the first plays of the game. I saw Peso all the way on the right with Peck. I'm like, what's he doing on the wrong side of the wing? And then as the game started to progress, I'm like, wait a minute, we're not playing in our 4-3-3. And then Vanny came in after the game. He's saying that the 4-3-3 kind of suited how to like counter Tigres' play. So I don't think this is a thing that we're going to be seeing going forward because I mean, not many teams in MLS play a five back, so that 4-4-2 kind of just was just there to kind of counter the Tigers, to keep their back line, I guess, intact. Because if we're going on the counter with three in the mid or 4-3-3, sometimes the wingers have to stay back with the wing backs. So our attack would just be Ramirez. So I think this formation allowed us to kind of counter more. We saw that kind of early on with Peck and Paintsel. So I think a tactical masterclass. I think that was the right
Right.
move from Vanny. And obviously, we didn't get the goal, but I think we played pretty good.
Yeah. You also saw them shift, yeah, like you said, to a 4-4-2 at times, which I thought was interesting. By the way, Galaxy are still undefeated with Diego Fagundes at center attacking midfielder. I mean, I was interested to see him starting again this match. There was a lot of questions if he was going to start, and he did. If Joseph Paintsil's back in the lineup, maybe Diego Fagundes hits the bench. By the way, Fagundes, I was looking at it earlier. 0 goals, 0 assists, 9 games is not what you want to see from $1.4 million. By the way, it's just
Yeah.
not. It's not great, and he's gotten minutes. It's not even like last season where he was making those little short stints. It's just not. It wasn't good. One thing, huge thing that happened first half was Maya Yoshida. Maya Yoshida was injured, and you see the Greg Vanny quote here. He said he sat down like a pro instead of trying to push it. From our understanding, it's a hamstring related, so it's nothing significant. Good news, right? Good news, all things considered, for Maya Yoshida. Went down. It looked like no contact, to my knowledge, at least from where I was. So you're
Yeah, it
kind of,
was.
fearing the worst. Yeah.
Yeah, he was making a pass and then he followed through and then he instantly grabbed his hamstring and then moved his hand, sat down. So I think it was just precautionary. Hopefully it's nothing bad, but I don't think he plays this weekend. And then I think Zonka came in and had a pretty good performance, so I don't mind him coming in. And then Zonka get Garza's partnership at the center back. I mean, it's champagne problems. We got really good center back, so I'm not bothered.
Yeah. I feel like Maya Yoshida is kind of in his Martin Caceres of last year era right now, where his career is winding down. You saw him take the pay cut just to stay in LA with his family. Once again, he's taking a bulk of the minutes, but Zonka is more so like the Maya Yoshida that we saw first season. This guy that comes in, and I thought, I was critical of him during the Vancouver game at the beginning of the year because I was like, dude, come on, you just got dunked on. Like, can we not be doing this right now? But after that, he's recovered very well. I think he's very solid. I like his ball playing ability. Not the fastest guy, but you're not going to expect that out of veteran. Maya's not the fastest guy. And it is very good to see that Maya Yoshida avoided the worst here because um, it would still be very bad to lose him for an extended period of time. And why risk it? Why risk it? Like you said, if you have Zonka on the bench, why risk it for this match? There's nothing. You want him for the reverse fixture. We don't know how long it's going to be, but from the way Greg Vanny made it sound like, he'll probably end up missing this weekend. But you will absolutely take you'll take Maya Yoshida being back for the reverse fixture if that was his goal, was like, I feel a little tightness in my hamstring. I just want to make sure it's nothing serious. So Zonka's fine. Zonka's fine to come in. So I'm just going to take a rest for this match and try to be ready for the second leg. But you probably won't see him. I don't think you'll see him again this weekend. I think Zonka gets the start again. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely Zonka Garza's partnership. I mean, those hamstrings they're a tough one. I've had my fair deal of hamstring problems, so I mean, you just gotta wait those things out. You don't rush back into it. I had a problem. I came into preseason just kind of not fully fit or not like because of my hamstring injury, and then I restrained it first practice back, and I mean, it sucks because those things you can't really do anything. It's just waiting and
Yeah.
just patience. So hopefully it's nothing too bad, not a high grade hamstring strain or anything. So praying for the best for him and speedy recovery if needed.
Yeah. You saw Joseph Paintsil deal with some hamstring issues over the past year for the Galaxy. It lingers. It definitely lingers. And at this stage of Maya Yoshida's career, why test it? Why test it for another, 60 minutes against Tigres, if that? It's not worth it. Sit down for the rest of this match and try to get yourself ready to go. Avoid re-injuring it in the future if possible. So interesting perspective though. I've never dealt with a hamstring injury, but I know that it's not something you want to have for sure.
Yeah. I mean, you feel it instantly. I strained mine and you just feel something's wrong. It's just one of those injuries. You feel something's up and you just don't want to mess with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Yoshida's been solid this year. I think there's been a bit of regression, just with age, as you would kind of expect from him. He had his moments last year, but once again, he's our captain. You want to see your captain on the field. Something interesting was John McCarthy got the captain's armband after Maya Yoshida went out of this game. So looks like John McCarthy is the next man up in terms of captaincy for the LA Galaxy. Saw Peck get it in preseason, but God forbid if Maya Yoshida, anything were to happen to him, it looks like the veteran John McCarthy gets the armband there. From our man Greg Vanny here. But let's go into some goalkeeper discourse here. Everyone's favorite time, everyone's favorite discussion for the LA Galaxy right now. John McCarthy and Novak Mitrovic. Just a quote from Greg Vanny on the goalkeeper situation. There's no question what John McCarthy can do. This crisis crap is nonsense. We have two good goalkeepers and they're both very capable. John has done it for an entire season. I have the utmost confidence in John. From 365 Football Mania, both of these quotes come from. What do you think of John McCarthy's performances?
I mean, I think he was really great in this game. I mean, he had that one good save. He did everything right. I mean, there's a couple misplaced passes trying to get over to Nelson, I believe. I mean
Yeah,
that's always going to come with MLS keepers, though. They're not Ter Stegen or Chesney or anything. Nothing crazy. Allison. They're just there's MLS keepers. They make the saves. Not good with their feet, and we can accept that because that's just what we need. And then, yeah,
yeah,
obviously Orlando wasn't great, but I thought he was great for Tigres. I mean, can't complain about anything.
yeah. Um, I think once again, John McCarthy obviously didn't make any huge error because he ended up keeping a shutout, which is nice to see for the confidence of the back
That's first
line.
shutout of the year, right? First
I
clean
believe
sheet.
so. I
Yeah,
believe so. Definitely because then we would have to look back to any draws on away games. Right now we've been performing better on the road than at home, which is so weird because last year we were terrible on the road. And not that we're particularly good on the road, we just happen to be terrible at home. Um, let's check that real quick. I believe that is our first clean sheet of the season. Good confidence booster for the Galaxy back
bravo.
line. It was a 1-1 draw at Portland, 2-2 at Minnesota. It's good confidence. Once again, didn't make a misstep in this game. I thought it was interesting here because I'm not gonna lie, I thought there was, you know, a little recency bias to this by Greg Vanny because after the Orlando game, he seemed to, at least from the quote, I didn't watch the full interview, but he's kind of insinuating that someone needs to step up at the goalkeeper spot. He was like, please, somebody step up and be our starting goalkeeper. Like somebody needs to take command. Maybe this is John McCarthy taking command. I heard John McCarthy's quote after the game. He was kind of like, people have doubted me my whole career. Like I made a career off of it. I'm gonna continue to be that guy that people doubt. And but it's fair to be critical of him, as we were Novak Mitrovic. As everyone was Novak Mitrovic, it's very fair to be critical of John McCarthy. He cost us points in the Orlando game. John Freeman did as well, but he cost us points in Orlando game, and then he cost us points in the Minnesota game, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah,
So those are 2 games where the Galaxy could have got a better result out of it, that John McCarthy had blunders in. Greg Vanny was starting to get fed up. A clean sheet alleviates some of that stress. Hey, John McCarthy, you want to be the starter? Go grab another clean sheet this weekend. And in fact, do it against Tigres one more time for us, and you can be the starter for all I care. Like,
yeah, I remember. I think it was after. Was it before or after we win the game? Sasha Kleshin came out on MLS Air, and he's talking about Galaxy created this keeper controversy themselves. I mean, coming into the season, he had Novak Mitrovic starting all the preseason games, getting all the minutes, and then kind of planned that after last season because Mitrovic has such a high ceiling. I think a higher one than McCarthy, but I mean, currently, I think McCarthy's best is better than Mikovic's best at the moment. That could change in the future, but I think right now we have to stick with McCarthy, stick to our guns that we know are going to work. And I mean, I kind of agree with Sasha on this. I mean, I don't agree with him on much,
oh,
but I gotta agree with him on this. I think Galaxy did create this themselves. They kind of dug themselves in a hole, and now it's McCarthy's time to shovel dirt back in there and create that whole like level again.
yeah. And if not, Novak Mitrovic could very well be in line to be the starter again. Greg Vanny was like, he believes in both of them, I believe. So I don't think he would hesitate to pull the trigger if John McCarthy ends up costing us points. The huge thing was, I feel like it could have been different. I feel like you could have seen Novak Mitrovic start this if it wasn't CONCACAF. I feel like Greg Vanny might have pulled the plug and just alternated goalkeepers after that Novak Mitrovic era against Orlando, if it wasn't a game where you needed a veteran in between the sticks. And I thought that was very important. And, I don't know if Novak Mitrovic makes that save. I don't know if Novak Mitrovic makes that save that John McCarthy made. You saw Novak make a couple decent ones in his time, obviously had quite a few errors, but it proved to be the right decision. Once again, though, I was just a bit confused by the whole idea of Julian Ade starting this match. Was more interesting to me than John McCarthy, or Julian Ade not starting this match more so, because I think he provides so much going forward for the Galaxy. I think Julian Ade, if you want to start off the momentum, if you want to have Joseph Paintcell in for the first half, have Julian Ade in too. Have Ade in. Go out guns blazing against Tigres and make them chase the game. Make them chase the game at home. And instead, yeah, John Nelson. I like John Nelson, but I feel like he's a closer. If any of you guys follow the MLB, you need a good closer on your team. I feel like John McCarthy is that, or no, John Nelson's that guy who's just a closer. Like, he could shut down games because he's very good defensively. Different positions, but look at what Wataru Endo does for Liverpool. As soon as that guy gets subbed on, it's game. It's game over. Skip to the full-time whistle. John Nelson provides so much in the defense, but not much going forward. I was very surprised not to see Julian Ade start this match, but I thought that was the only thing I'd be critical of Greg Vanny on. I'll ask you a question.
Yeah.
Is there anything you're critical of Greg Vanny on this far?
Um, I mean, I wouldn't say so. I think he's done. I mean, his squad is not the squad that we had last year. Doesn't have the players that he kind of needs to play his style he wants to play. So it's hard to be critical on a guy that doesn't have the pieces he needs to become successful. So, I mean, I can't really be critical. I think he's made the right choices in playing the keepers. I think it was fair to start Mikovic at the start of the year, and then obviously his two mistakes, and he stays true to what he says. If you're not gonna perform to the level that we need you, we're gonna drop you. And he said after, I think it was the Atlanta game, he said, I allow mistakes. It's just how you respond to them. Like you have to make up for them. I think McCarthy did this perfectly today,
Yeah.
or not today, but versus Tigres on Tuesday. And then talking about that goalie kind of controversy, I saw some shouts that JT Markinkowski should get a start, and that is so wrong. And just to prove that point, he's playing right now for VCFC in the U.S. Open Cup, and they're down 2-0 versus El Paso Locomotive. And I think I saw Jason Buckner got a red card, so it's not great down in Carson right now.
Mm. Look, I know for a fact. Look, if you want to say John McCarthy, Novak Mitrovic the solution, that's fine. I know for a fact that JT is not going to be the guy who's going to
I know.
fix all of the Galaxy's problems. I'm sorry. Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, Ventura is down 2-0 to El Paso Locomotive. Free Sean from that absolute horror. We got Brandon in the chat who's gonna suit up for the Galaxy as the fourth string goalkeeper. There we go. I saw his Instagram reel, but he was suited, man. He was ready to go.
I saw Fuerte had some highlights up on his page as well. I'm trying to get that paycheck from Galaxy,
Yeah.
get that spot. I mean,
I played goalkeeper back in my day.
oh
Man.
dang, yeah, even you. Yeah, you play intramurals, right?
Yeah, I do. I
Even
play
saw you in there.
intramurals. I did. Slap me in goal. I'm ready for this. I'm ready for the upcoming spring quarter season. I got my
I wish-
gloves right back there if you guys need me.
Yeah, I'm not that case. You do not want me in goal. My stuff's isn't gonna help you.
Just make sure to hit my line. Hey, Jody, welcome to the LA Galaxy, Jody. Joshua Scott Wallace signs for the LA Galaxy. If you guys missed that over April Fools, I know all of the Galaxy fan pages had a lot of fun. That day. It's like the one day where you're just absolutely able to go haywire. I'm trying to recall you. You said Greg Vanny was fired.
I got sacked.
Yeah.
I got I could laugh and sound like so.
Yeah,
Be glad
we
to make
need
people
Sean to be on here so we could rip into him for his Greg Vanny takes
Oh.
right now.
Sean has some terrible takes.
Next pod, Sean is absolutely getting slandered for it.
Yeah, he's getting put on the hot seat. We're just gonna
Yeah.
kill him.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely ridiculous. Greg Vanny is not the issue, guys. Let's be very clear. We'll take questions from the chat now. However, if you want to direct them at myself, if you want to direct them at Galaxy Runs LA, or both of us, we will be here to talk about that. But in the meantime, I mean, Jody from Sunderland, welcome to the club. And then I had another one that I'm blanking. Well, I had another April Fool's one for the Galaxy.
Wasn't it, who was it? It was a GM thing. Klein came back.
Oh,
or
Chris
something like that.
Klein.
Something
Chris
like that.
Klein reinstated as president,
Yeah.
everyone. Where could you meet injured players on match days? I saw Nascimento, Yamane, and Paintsil at the US soccer training fields. Would not recommend because apparently they're not so kind to people who do that. They were fine to me. There wasn't even anyone near the gate. But I wouldn't recommend it because the Galaxy don't love to do those things. I don't know. Galaxy Runs LA. Do you know any other spots here?
Not really, no. I mean, I get to see some of the VCFC guys at the VCFC games. I mean, highly recommend coming out to those. Those are great. At the
Yeah.
end of the game, they let the kids down on the field, kind of behind the field boards, and they sign. Everyone gets a signature pretty much.
Yeah.
And just as a time filler, Tony Alfaro scores for El Paso Locomotive. I mean, it can't get worse than that.
Of course.
53rd minute,
It's
2-0.
difficult when a USL team plays an MLS next.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are what, 25 to 30, and they're playing against these teenagers. Yeah, Dylan Vandy starting in the midfield. I mean, it's just not the ideal matchup you want.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Is the altitude in Monterrey going to be a big issue for us like it would be at the Azteca in Mexico City, or is it a non-issue? I'll start with you, Galaxy Runs LA.
also got no clue. I'm looking up right now.
I will say if it is a high altitude, yes. I mean, obviously it would be an issue for the Galaxy, because playing like even RSL going from altitude to altitude, maybe it helps the Galaxy. Maybe it favors the Galaxy to already be in high altitude and go directly from RSL to go from Salt Lake City to Monterrey, Mexico. But do you have
Okay,
a number
it's
on this?
19 or 1791 feet above sea level, and I'm not sure. Los Angeles is let's pull it, 300 feet. So it's quite the difference.
How much
So
is
that
Salt Lake
might be a
City
problem. Let's see.
or Sandy, Utah, wherever they play?
Yeah,
Just from that, it is an issue. Like
4,000 feet, 4,500. Okay,
really, so this is a lot more than
yeah,
even Salt
it's gonna
Lake.
be tough on the body.
We need rotation, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
and
We'll
also
go
not
over the
just
Salt
starts.
Lake match here after, but um, that's gonna be an issue. Do you think it's gonna be a major issue for the Galaxy? Just fatigued players. You've seen a lot of
Yeah,
players have a lot
definitely.
of mileage on them already.
I mean, we're seeing Yoshida going down with hamstring, and those are usually from overworking or kind of just putting too much stress on the body. So, I mean, granted, Yoshida's 36 or is it 34, 36? He's up there in age. We
Yeah,
got some old players, but I mean, you don't want to see guys going down with hamstring injuries. That's not a good sign. So hopefully these two games don't take a toll on us. And then I don't know if we're gonna go to our next point, but we got an injury update that Sanabria is gonna be coming back pretty soon. We
yeah.
got a timetable of 1 week. I'm not sure. Do we know if that's for contact training again, or is that for like playing?
I don't think they specified. I don't think they specified, but I have a feeling it would be to at least be on the bench, in my
Yeah,
opinion, because I don't know why he'd say I'll be back in a week if he was just meaning I'll be back in full contact training, because I
yeah.
don't think that's the context of the question. But yeah, we'll discuss it a bit more later, but we do have, an update on Lucas Sanabria that we'll go into a bit more. We'll touch on after the RSL preview. Why can't Vanny make up his mind on Nelson versus Ade? I don't know if it's that necessarily as much as he has two very good quality left backs that he doesn't mind rotating between. Uh, it's just what we set up better tactically, in my opinion. Like against Tigres, I think he thought John Nelson was the guy that was going to be better. I thought he did his part defensively. He didn't make any major mistakes, but I would have preferred Julian Ade in this match. If you want to come out guns blazing for the Galaxy, I would have preferred Julian Ade. So I don't think it's as much him not making up his mind as it is. I think he has two very capable left backs. And then we got another one for you. Galaxy runs LA. What changes would you make if you're the coach? Who would you drop? Goalie decisions, rotations, or starters?
Okay. I think McCarthy gets the goalie nod for me. I think. Oh, Nelson Aude is tough. Aude's been doing pretty good, so I think I'm starting Aude in Salt Lake. Let's see. And then if I think we'll go 4-3-3 this weekend. Peck, Ramirez, Paintsel. In the midfield, we go Cerrillo, Parente, and Fagundes. And then Zonka, Garces, Aude, Yamane. I mean, I feel like that's the right way to go. I don't
Yeah.
know if you have the same idea as me, but I think that's our strongest lineup right now.
I also have a 4-3-3. We'll go into the RSL preview, but I have a different mix of players playing a little bit, just with rotation ahead of the game. But hey, we need you as the gaffer. You said Greg
Oh
Vanny
yeah,
sacked. Galaxy runs LA is the new
yeah.
gaffer here.
Oh yeah.
Um, Score predictions we will go into very soon here. And yeah, let's go into the RSL preview here. The LA Galaxy will travel up to Sandy, Utah to play Real Salt Lake on Saturday. This is an afternoon kickoff. I believe it is a 1:30 a.m. or p.m. kickoff for the LA Galaxy.
Another
So
1:30.
yeah,
I don't like those
afternoon
games.
games.
Trap
Afternoon
games.
games. Salt Lake are not very good though. If we're being honest, Salt Lake, ever since they lost Chicho Arango, are a shell of what they used to be. The LA Galaxy are also not very good here, so we could see a mid-off between these two teams. But I would hope that the Galaxy could at least salvage a point out of this match. Lineup wise, I think John McCarthy gets the start in net. I think Julian Ade also starts. I think John Nelson starting against Tigres shows that Greg Vanny thinks that Tigres set up better or against Julian Ade, so he's going to start John Nelson in that reverse fixture. Going to preserve his minutes a bit here. Julian Ade. I think you see Zonka and Amaro Garces in the back line, Miki Amane at right back, Edwin Cerrillo, Diego Fagundes at cam. I'm gonna go Tucker Lepley. I think Isaiah Parente doesn't start this match. I think Tucker Lepley gets minutes. You want to see somebody like Isaiah Parente if he's gonna start the CONCACAF game in the midfield, take on a lot of mileage to probably get a little rotation. And the front three, I think, will be Joseph Paintsil. I think he'll probably only go 60 though. Nascimento and Gabriel Peck. So I have
That's true.
Nascimento.
I just contradicted myself that I said earlier in the podcast, I think Nascimento's going to start, and then I said Ramirez starts. Yeah, I think I switched my thought. I think Nascimento starts this weekend at RSL. I mean, what did I say? Altitude's 4.5K above sea level. So, I mean, it's going to be tough on the body. So, yeah, I think Nascimento. I agree with you.
Yeah. Could you see somebody like Edwin Cerrillo get rotation in this match? I feel like you could. I feel like you could with the amount of minutes he's taken on. Like maybe you opt for Tucker Lepley and Isaiah Parente for this game.
Yeah, I mean, going back to what you said about maybe Lepley game minutes, I think Painstill should start, and I think he probably doesn't play full 90, so maybe like 60 minutes, and then I think he put Lepley in, move Fagundes out wide, Lepley to the center. I think it's vice versa. I think Lepley plays out wide and Fagundes in the center.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but I think that's kind of the move that Vanny might do is take out Painstill, put in Lepley, and then move Fagundes out wide, and then I think Parente might start. It's either Parente or Winder. I mean, they're pretty similar in play styles, but I don't think Lepley slots into that like 6/8, like holding box to box midfielder that he kind of wants. So I think Winder might get that start. So we'll have to see. Something to keep an eye on for.
Yeah, I see Lepley as more of an 8 in Greg Vanny's system. I know for Ventura County, he's played more of a 6. That's his natural position. But the way that Greg Vanny wants him, I think he's an 8. So maybe Isaiah Parente takes the 6 role here and maybe runs a double pivot with Isaiah Parente and Tucker Lepley in the midfield. Diego Fagundes, for as long as Ricky Puig is out, I think he's going to get a lot of starts. He's going to start this game once again. Wanted minutes last year. Once again, here's your time. Please get on the score sheet. We'll go into score predictions. I do not, by the way, I am a little harsh on Elijah Winder than most people are, and I think it's Sean's fault. I think Sean's the issue. I think Sean's the issue.
Knowledge.
I think Sean's the issue because Elijah Winder, I believe in his potential. I just don't think he's there right now. I don't think he's starting caliber for the LA Galaxy. He's not physical enough for MLS. He's really not proven to be physical. MLS is a tough league. You've seen a lot of people from the USL come to MLS and struggle with the physical side of the game. You've seen people from Europe come to MLS and struggle with the physicality. I think Elijah Winder has really struggled for the Galaxy this far. You're seeing him not get many minutes. A lot of people, including myself, picked him as the breakout player of the year, and he can't even scrap a 30-minute or a rotational start right now. You saw him in the CONCACAF game against Herediano was the last notable match I saw of him. And it looks like he's in Vanny's doghouse ever since he conceded the first goal, lost the ball, just gets bodied off of it. Not a foul, by the way. Sorry, Sean. But I'm not on the Winder hive right now, but I do believe his potential is there to turn things around. I'd love to see him turn things around. But it was a low risk signing. It was a record transfer fee from USL, but it was one of those like low risk, high reward swings. So if it doesn't end up going in the Galaxy's favor, it is what it is. But I'm not ready to pull that trigger yet. Still, he has plenty of years left to play for the Galaxy. Let's go
Definitely.
into score predictions for this game. I have the Galaxy. I think the LA Galaxy will lose this match 2-1. I think Nacia Menta will get his first goal for the club. No, scratch that. I think Diego Fagundes will get his first goal of the season, and the Galaxy will fall 2-1 in Salt Lake City.
I
Your
think
thoughts?
in every prediction I've said Galaxy's gonna win, and we haven't won.
Yeah.
So, so I'm not sure how valid my predictions are. Maybe a little bit of bias in there. But I'll try to be a little less biased. I think we get another draw. I think it might be a 2-2 draw. Oh, and I just got a notification. Tony Alfaro red card for El Paso. Oh
Oh,
yeah,
brother.
gets an assist, gets a goal, and a red card.
Yeah. RSL, 2 wins on the year. They are 11th place in the Western Conference. They're not great. They are not great. Let's not get that mistaken. This is a winnable game for the Galaxy. Would I be surprised to see the Galaxy go out and win this match? No. I wouldn't be surprised if we pull something out of Salt Lake City. Realistically, though, I could see a tie, like you said. Um, However, once again, every time I pick the Galaxy to win, they've disappointed me. RSL wins this season have came against Seattle Sounders and I believe Houston Dynamo. Not that impressive.
Yeah, I
Without
mean,
Chicho Arango, they're just a shell of their former selves. That being said, I think the Galaxy are just going to struggle in this one. I think fatigue's going to get to them and altitude. What do you think?
yeah, I'll say it's going to be a major issue. The 4.5K feet above sea level, it's always tough. When we saw Galaxy go there last season and get up 3 points there, that's a different team. So it's going to be tough. It is a tough game. I think it was a close one, 2-1, I believe, last season.
Yeah.
And obviously we're a shadow of ourselves now. So hoping for a draw, hoping for a win. Who really knows though? You never know with this Galaxy team. They could play absolutely amazing for 80 minutes and absolutely drop a stink in the last 10 and
Yeah.
ruins all momentum. So you never know.
I'm yet to see a 90-minute performance out of this team. Besides the Herediano leg two, but
I'd say the 90-minute performance could be Tigres. I think we played pretty good that game
maybe
defensively. Maybe not fully, but I think defensively, I think that was a solid game for us.
defensively, yes. I think like when I look at a 90-minute game, I want to see them firing on both the offense and defense, and
Sure.
I don't
Yeah.
think we put both of those together at any point besides the Herediano match. But that's just such an outlier in its own right. The Galaxy in all competitions right now have 1 win in 9 games. I'm not very confident that we steal this one in Salt Lake City. We struggled last year, even when we were, at our peak. Then again, they had Chicho Arango. I don't know if he's available for that match, but regardless,
He was, and that was when Cowsters and him collided.
I
So I
thought
think
that
he got
was at
subbed out.
home. Oh, that
No,
was
no,
yeah.
that
He
was
got
away.
subbed out. He got subbed out,
Yeah,
right? So he didn't play much in that match, but
yeah.
um, I would still favor Salt Lake to get the win here. I don't think the Galaxy are going to have their heads in the right space of wanting to get 3 points out of this match as much as they're focused on advancing to the semifinals of Concacaf. Um, I think if you want to make a deep run in that tournament, you're going to have to make some sacrifices. You're going to have to take some losses that you don't want to take. You're going to have to play some rotational players that wouldn't have started otherwise. And I think it's going to be one of those games where the Galaxy are not going to have they're not going to be firing all cylinders. I haven't seen anything from the offense that would suggest that we would be ready to go for this game. Salt Lake are very acclimated to playing in altitude. The Galaxy are not. I think all signs point to Salt Lake coming out with at least a point from this match, and the Galaxy probably not. So I don't think we end up getting a win out of this game. Who's looking like they're going to win MLS Cup this year? The Western Conference is absolutely terrible. They're
It's
so
it's
bad.
it's wide open. Anyone can win it.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Vancouver up there, and I mean, they're good, but I mean, like they've shown every single year they start good and they dwindle off. Seattle's always up there, and they're not looking great. I mean, they always have poor starts. I feel like. I mean, Yeah, I mean, you got Minnesota kind of up there. It Western Conference is wide open. Honestly, if we hit a good run of form, we could be up there. I mean, it's that crazy. So
Yeah.
yeah,
We could make a Red Bulls type run, honestly.
yeah,
That being said, I will tell you, 100. I mean, San Diego.
that's
Okay, sure, they gotta win. Give me a break though. An expansion club is not gonna make a deep run in the playoffs. I'll eat my words. I know I'll be on all San Diego fan pages. Go ahead, clip this right now. San Diego FC are not going to MLS Cup. It's just not gonna happen. That being said, I'll give them credit where credit's due. They've been good this year. They've started out and you know been one of the best expansion teams thus far that I've seen as my time an MLS supporter. So I think San Diego's been a threat. Obviously, came off of a win against both LA teams. Uh, but in terms of winning the Western Conference, at least winning the MLS championship, it would blow my mind if they did it. The MLS Cup winner is coming from the Eastern Conference. I'm sorry, Galaxy fans. The MLS Cup winner will absolutely come from the East.
he's just stacked.
I think Inter Miami finally get it done this year, in my opinion. I think they're going to be more focused on the playoffs than they are going to be the Supporter Shield this year. They might win the Shield regardless. I think they're first in the Shield right now, but I think going out to Atlanta, like if they went out back to back first round, I don't think they would ever hear the end of it for as long as their club exists. Having Lionel Messi and missing the playoffs, going out first round and going out first round again, they got to get it done at some point, and I think it'll happen this
Orlando
year.
has unlimited ammo against them if they do that.
Oh yeah, Orlando run or Atlanta run it back, run it back.
Yeah,
Atlanta are a good team. I like Emmanuel
they are.
Latte Lath. I know this is a Galaxy podcast, but he is I mean, they've underperformed this far, but they have a really good coach, Ronnie Dyla. But back to
They're a
this
Galaxy
game,
last year.
yeah,
All offense, no defense.
exactly. Back to this game, the odds for this match are a 46.51% Real Salt Lake win, a 25.38% tie, and a 27.4% LA Galaxy win, according to Oddspedia. I mean, RSL are the favorites, and they should be. The chances that we get a point out of this match, though, are greater than 50, according to this. So, or point or better. So, that I would gladly take a point. The Galaxy have looked like they're a better team on the road, but yeah, I mean, I think there is a chance we get a point out of this, like you said. But I think Nascimento gets his first. I wouldn't expect this to be a really thrilling game. I think both of these teams haven't played good soccer this far. Sometimes that creates the best games, though. So I could eat my words, and this could be like a 4-4 thriller or something. But neither of these teams have played very good. So I wouldn't put my money on, you know, the Galaxy getting a win out of this one. But let's go into Sanabria here. Lucas Sanabria, as we discussed earlier, will be back in 1 week. This is a guy that the Galaxy have not really seen much this year. He played 2 games and then all of a sudden he's out for over a month. I think it's been a month now. He got injured in that Vancouver game and we just never seen him back. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that we haven't been able to see him because the Galaxy were very high on him. The Galaxy, coming over from Nacional, this guy's a league champion. The club rated him very high. He was on the Uruguayan national team. I preferred him to Igor Jesus when we were linked to both at the time. And he's just been injured. He didn't look great when he started. Suffers an injury to the collarbone. I'm excited to see him back. I don't think there's any rush, though, to get him starting. I expected him back in May. The Galaxy are going to take on a lot of games in April. If you could get him back towards the end of the month and take some minutes away from Isaiah Parente just to balance him out and maybe get him integrated into the squad a bit, you'll take that. He's been practicing, not in full capacity though. What do you make of Lucas Sanabria coming back?
Yeah, I'm excited for him. I mean, it's almost like a fresh restart for him. I mean, he didn't have the greatest start for that 1.5 games he did play. But I mean, I feel
Yeah.
like hopefully that month he's been out, I mean, hopefully it's kind of gave him some time to get used to the city, get used to life in LA. So hopefully he comes back firing. I mean, we're gonna need him if we're gonna be successful. He's gonna have to be a centerpiece for us going forward. So he's gonna be a big part of the team this year, next year, for the future. So hopefully he steps up and lives up to that role.
I'm very high on Lucas Sanabria being a very quality player. I think he has what it takes to be successful for the Galaxy. I think it's a matter of time. Get him back into the squad, get him minutes. He's going to be fine. People were overreacting after like 2 games that this guy had. He's going to be fine. He's going to be good. I'm excited to see him back. The more players healthy, the better, because at that point, you're looking at Cuevas being the next man up to come off the injury sheet, maybe. And, just getting more bodies healthy, I think is always a positive thing for the Galaxy with the way that the season's been trending. So Lucas Sanabria coming back, very excited about that. The LA Galaxy will play our reverse fixture on Tuesday, April 8th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at Estadio Universitario in Monterrey, Mexico. This match will the Galaxy have to go on the road. What did you say? How high was this game at?
Let me pull it up. Let me pull it up. Give me one sec.
It's gonna be a
18K. No,
yeah
18. 1.8K. So I
1.8.
mean, 1.8. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not quite Sandy, Utah, but I mean,
It's
it's
altitude.
higher than Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Ever is.
Um,
So yeah,
it's the
it's gonna be a
reverse
tough
fixture.
game.
We will I think we might have a podcast directly after this game, if I'm not mistaken. We might do the live watch along and go right from the live watch along into this match. That being said, lineup for the Galaxy I'd expect is John McCarthy once again gets the nod in net, John Nelson at left back, Amiro Garces, and Maya Yoshida if he's back. If not, Zonka I think will be fine in that role. Miki Amane at right back, Edwin Cerrillo, Isaiah Parente, Diego Fagundes, Joseph Painsil, Christian Ramirez, and Gabriel Peck. Basically a repeat lineup, just maybe Zonka. Maybe Zonka if Maya Yoshida's not ready to go. But
Yeah,
are
I agree
you
with
on the
that.
same page? Okay.
Yep.
We will not be going to Mexico. I don't know about yourself.
Oh no. I don't got time for that.
Yeah.
I got news that Sean might be going out.
Is
Might
he
not see.
actually?
Oh,
Okay. I was gonna say that'd be very interesting if Sean went
Sean
out.
takes on Mexico.
We'd have to get a
Let's get
live
some
vlog.
interviews.
Dude, I keep forgetting to get interviews. We will have fan interviews at a point before the match with the takeaways, predictions, and whatnot of the Galaxy home games. Will not be in Mexico for that though. Was Tigres missing anyone for this for the last game? I believe they're missing the striker. No,
I don't think so. I can pull it up right now.
I
I don't think
because
so.
I heard that they were missing their striker the first leg, like that he wasn't going to make the trip up to LA. Gignac, I mean, I don't know
Oh
how
yeah,
much.
Gignac's injured.
Yeah.
He's still doubtful. They're missing their center back Reyes and then
Okay.
Guerrero. Let's see. I don't think he's. Yeah, he's nothing special.
They've had their own injury issues too, for sure.
Reyes is a starter, so I mean they're missing one of their starting center backs. I mean they're playing a back five, so
Yeah.
anyone can really slot in that center back and be chilling.
Hey, welcome to the injury club, man.
Yeah.
Except you're not missing your Ricky Puig of your club. Gignac, I think at his age isn't, what he used
Right.
to be. Like he's not going to be an X factor in the big 2025. But I think the Galaxy just get the away goal. Get the away goal, please. We need to be firing on all cylinders. And in fact, I would not mind if Julian Ade started this match. If the Galaxy want to push for a goal, you do not want this to go to penalties. We will lose on penalty kicks.
They got Guzman. Guzman's the master of the dark arts.
He's such a troll. I was at ACB and he's trolling the fans all before the match. He has no shame. But fair, I would do the same if I was a professional goalkeeper. I can't blame him. predictions for this match. I think the Galaxy will set up aggressively to get that first goal. I think if he could get the first goal and shut it down, Gabriel Peck, you want to be that guy that goes to Europe, have a special moment. Please have a special moment for the Galaxy. That being said, I predicted going into this fixture that the Galaxy will not advance past Tigres. I do not think we will advance past Tigres. I think it will be a 1-0 win for the match. No, 2-0. I think it'll be a 2-0 win for them. I think they'll get a goal early in the first or second half, and they'll just probably shut it down from there. And then the second goal will probably come just out of desperation, the Galaxy leaving themselves open. I don't think we'll be played like a 2-0 game, but I think we lose this match. If you can't score at home, I don't imagine you score away against this club. Maybe they get a little healthy for this, but I think we will not advance past this match. As for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, so Tigres, when they played Cincinnati, Cincinnati scored the first goal, I believe, and then in the second half, they just absolutely demolished them. They went 4 goals unanswered. So, I mean, ideally, you want a 1-1 draw, go through on away goals or something. But realistically, I think we drop out of the tournament to Tigres. I think it might be a 2-1 game, 2-0 game, like you said. But I hope we just get away that one away goal. I hope it's like first, so I have a little bit of hope, and then
Yeah. Oh, that'd be heartbreaking. That'd be heartbreaking if we got the first goal and we ended up dropping it, because then if we get the first goal, by the way, they need to. They need to, or they are out of the tournament, and the Galaxy will advance to the semifinals. If we get an away goal, it will be so crucial to this team advancing, because it's almost like double prizes. You score, and then it counts a little more to the point where now they got to score 2. So if you could get that, that would be fantastic. I don't think the Galaxy step up for this game. Unfortunate, but I would be happy to be wrong. It will not go to extra time. These matches go straight to penalties.
Oh, dang. Well, that's just not ideal then.
No,
Straight to Guzman in the Universitario. Jeez, that's tough.
dude, it's really. And then if you somehow manage to win, you get treated to Club America or
Okay,
Monterrey.
Cruz Azul.
Club America or Cruz Azul. Take your pick, either one of them.
Pick your poison.
Absolute treat to be on this side of the
Yes.
bracket.
I was watching that game before us. So Club America was home at the first leg, and they tied 0-0. So I go to Cruz Azul's place, and
They're in the
duel it
same boat
out.
as we are.
Yep.
Okay. So both sides of the bracket, not a single goal has been scored. So it's been a very, very tightly contested. I think that the Galaxy are going to struggle in this match a lot to find any type of level on offense. I just don't see it happening. I just don't see the Galaxy advancing out of this one. I think quarterfinals was our ceiling for this tournament. I think going into it, I picked that the Galaxy would lose in the quarterfinals. I'm sticking true to it. I think everything points to this being Club America advancing. So, same page.
Unfortunate, but I agree.
Yeah. Percent chance the Galaxy win. Outright. Okay. Win the 2-leg series. I think there's like a 30% chance. No, 35. I'll give it 35. Win outright in Mexico, I'll give it like 20. I don't think there's a great chance. Yeah. What do you think?
I mean, I don't think we win this game. I think if we advance through, it's going to be on away goals. So I'm just banking off a 1-goal lead, and then who cares if they score 1 goal? We just need to hold them to that 1 goal.
Yeah.
So I think away goal is going to be our best friend. So hopefully it is.
Yeah. I mean, that's the benefit. I really thinking back on the match, the first leg, I was very happy that they didn't score, because if they did, this would be very much a doom and gloom game if we lost at home. That was a must-win game, and the Galaxy drew it. So I mean, it leaves for a more interesting second leg, but we will now take any final questions before we head out of here. You could direct them at Galaxy Runs LA or myself. Make sure if you haven't already to like the stream and subscribe. If you haven't done that yet, will there be a listening party for the JP album coming soon?
That's up your alley, no? You like that
Uh,
one?
when I think that's coming out tomorrow. Yeah,
The fourth. I think was it the fourth or third? For some reason 4 sticks out of my mind.
third. I don't know. I did a collab post with JP Music, the freaky manager.
What a guy.
He's a demon. We will not have a listening party for that. Unfortunately, but we will be blasting the new music for sure. Will Paint still start against Tigres?
Yes.
Yeah.
100% chance.
Yeah. If I'm a betting man, I would bet my whole life savings on Joseph Paintsil starting. Should I show up to the Houston Dynamo game in my goalkeeper jersey?
Hey, he might get called up. Get ready. Bring your
Yeah.
gloves.
You are the next man up, Brandon. We saw the Instagram reel, so you better be ready to go. The Galaxy, I already talked to Will Kuntz. He's ready to
Yeah.
sign you.
I was actually on the phone with Greg Vanny just before this, and I sent him a
Yeah.
reel, so get ready.
Before we went live.
Yeah.
We were talking to Will Kuntz and Greg Vanny about you suiting up in the net. All right, we'll take one last question before we get out of here. But
I think also on that phone call, I recommended Sean in the midfield. So
that's
that's
a
a great
good one. Yeah. You got Sean starting in a double pivot with Edwin Cerrillo, and Elijah Winder will be in the midfield three. Projections on when Galaxy will be full strength with Ricky. Probably not until October. Sorry. We'll talk about it all season, but it's not going to happen till we will not have him at winger. But it's going to be October for the Galaxy to come back with Ricky. If that, they might shut him down for the year if we're out of playoffs by then. I don't imagine Ricky's the type of guy that would want to work all season to come back to just be shut down for the year. But if you want to give him more time, maybe that's a thing. I don't think the Galaxy missed the playoffs though. I think we barely squeak into a playoff game, maybe make a run, but it's gonna be a little bit. And yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Where can they find you, Galaxy Runs LA?
Galaxy Runs LA on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter or X.
There we go. As for myself, I am LA Galaxy _Buzz on just Instagram. Make sure to follow Galaxy Runs LA. Some great content over there. Appreciate having you on the pod. Always a pleasure to have you guys in the chat. Thanks for interacting and whatnot. Make sure to like and subscribe if you already haven't. And yeah, I will see you guys for our live watch along against Real Salt Lake. Will you be there?
I might have to see.
Okay.
I'll check my schedule. Might be a
take-
surprise appearance.
All right. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys on Saturday.